Sri Gurupya Namaha. I am Lakshmi from Ponvidyashram. Welcome you all children. Today I am going to continue the chapter 4 in geography, air. In the previous part of this lesson, we saw about the composition of the atmosphere and structure of the atmosphere. Now I am going to continue weather and the climate. Weather and the climate are the basic elements in the natural environment. Both these terms are widely used in our day-to-day life. We usually use them synonymously, but in reality they are different from each other. Every day we talk about the weather because it remains always with us. We often say it is so humid, it is cool day, it is too hot, let us go for a swim, etc. Thus, weather is what is happening with the atmospheric condition right now, likely to happen in very near future. It is hour to hour or day to day condition of the atmosphere. On the other hand, climate forms the general weather condition prevailing in area over a long period. Weather. What is weather? Weather is defined as the state of temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity, precipitation, etc. in the atmosphere at a given place and time. All of these atmospheric conditions are collectively known as weather. Therefore, weather can be sunny, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy. The term weather should not be confused with climate. Instruments used for measuring weather are thermometer, barometer, rain gauge, and wind vane are four instruments of measuring weather. Thermometer, it measures the temperature. Barometer, it measures atmospheric pressure. Rain gauge, it measures the amount of rainfall. Wind vane, it shows the direction of the wind. Next is climate. What is climate? Climate is defined as the average overall condition of the temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity, precipitation, etc. over a large region for a long period of time. Therefore, climate is the average weather condition over a large area for a period of about 35 to 40 years. The condition of different elements of weather keeps changing. This change can take place anytime. Thus, the change in weather is a continuous phenomenon, but the climate of the place remains more or less the same year after year. Weather and climate greatly influence our daily life and economic activities. Thus, a systematic study of the various elements of weather is necessary. Climate is one of the basic elements of our natural environment. Climate affects the landforms, vegetation, soil types, agricultural activities, etc. The kind of clothes that we wear, the food we eat, and the houses in which we live are intimately related to the climate. Now we are going to see the elements of the weather and climate. In that, first is temperature. The intensity of heat, that is warm or cold, is called temperature. The temperature is measured by an instrument called thermometer. The temperature is measured in degrees Celsius. It was invented by Anders Celsius. On the Celsius scale, the water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. The main source of heat is sun. It is available to produce its own heat. The surface temperature of the sun is around 5500 degrees Celsius. The heat energy given out by the sun is called solar radiation. A very small part of solar radiation is received by the Earth's surface. The incoming solar radiation to Earth is called insolation. It takes around 7 minutes to reach and heats the Earth's surface. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator to the poles. The main factors responsible for influencing temperature on the Earth are latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, and prevailing winds. The higher the altitude, the lower will be the temperature. We feel cooler on the mountain since air is less dense on the mountains. Solar radiation cannot be easily trapped. Water takes longer to heat or cool. So the places near the sea or any larger water body have mild or moderate temperature. If a wind is blowing from a cooler area, then the temperature will be lowered and vice versa. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages because the crowded high-rise buildings of the cities trap the warm air and thus raises the temperature of the cities. Next is air pressure. It can be defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of the air on the Earth's surface. The air pressure is highest at the sea level and decreases with height, that is, at mountains that is varies from 930 to 900 MB. On the Earth's surface, the air pressure will be 990 to 950 MB. At sea level, the air pressure will be 1030 millibar. MB is millibar. Actually, the atmospheric pressure is measured by an instrument called barometer. It is expressed in millibar. On the map, the atmospheric pressure is shown by isobars. The air presses us with a great force, but we do not feel the pressure. This is because the air presses us from all directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. Apart from the altitude, the air pressure also depends on the temperature of air at a given place. In hot areas, the air gets heated and rises. So, they become low pressure areas. On the other hand, in cold areas, heavy air sinks and creates high pressure areas. Low pressure is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather, whereas high pressure is linked with clear and sunny skies. The air always moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. When hot air rises, cold air from surrounding area rushes there to fill in the gap. In this way, air circulation takes place. So, on the basis of the variation in the air pressure, the whole earth can be divided into four atmospheric pressure belts. First one is equatorial low pressure belts. Number two, subtropical high pressure belt. Third one, subpolar low pressure belt. Fourth, polar high pressure belt. Equatorial low pressure belts. It is located between 5° north and 5° south of the equator. This belt is also known as the doldrum or the belt of calm. Second pressure belt is subtropical high pressure belt. It is located between 30° north to 35° north and 30° south to 35° south latitudes in both the hemispheres. This belt is also known as the horse latitudes. Number 3. Subpolar low pressure belt. It lies between 60° north to 65° north and 60° south to 65° south latitudes in both the hemispheres. It is also called the circumpolar low pressure belt. Fourth belt is polar high pressure belt. It is situated near 90° north and 90° south latitudes in both the hemispheres. The third element of weather and climate is wind. Air always remains in motion. It moves vertically and horizontally. The vertical motion of air is called air current, while the horizontal motion is called the wind. The air moves in a direction which is essentially parallel with the surface of the earth. Wind originates due to the effect of the low and high pressure areas. In fact, the movement of air from high pressure areas to low pressure areas is called wind. The direction of the wind is determined by the direction of the areas of its origin. For example, the wind coming from south is known as south winds, while those coming from east is known as easterly. Winds can be broadly divided into three types. One is permanent winds, second seasonal winds, third local winds. Permanent wind is also known as trade winds. The winds that blow regularly in a definite direction in certain latitudinal areas of the world are known as trade winds. Trade winds, westerlies, and the polar winds are the example of trade winds. Next, we have seasonal winds. These winds can be defined as the winds that blow in a particular direction during a particular period of day or a month. Monsoon, land and sea breezes are example of these seasonal winds. Next is local winds. The winds that originate due to the local differences in air pressure and temperature are known as the local winds. Lu is the examples of the local winds. Storms are very strong blowing winds. Storms commonly occur near seas and oceans in the forms of cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, and tornadoes. Cyclones refers to a violent and destructive form of winds accompanied by the heavy rainfall. Cyclonic winds cause 7 to 10 meters high tidal waves that sweep 20 kilometers inland and bring massive destruction. Hurricanes are actually cyclones which are experienced by the eastern coast of India. They develop as a result of low pressure system in the Bay of Bengal. Winds from surrounding high pressure areas move towards the center of low pressure areas at 100 km seconds. Let us see the case study that cyclone occurs in Odisha. On Friday, October 29, 1999, Odisha coast was struck by a supercyclone traveling at the high speed of 260 to 300 km per hour and the sea waves rising up to 5 to 8 meters high accompanying continuous rains with caused massive destruction. Odisha was shattered by this worst ever cyclone. The damages caused were mainly due to three factors due to wind velocity, rain, and tidal surge. This storm brought the life of people to an absolute halt. The coastal belt saw millions of people displaced, homeless, and killing of thousands of people. This cyclone killed 90% of cattle in the affected district and standing paddy crop was totally destroyed. Almost all the coconut trees were uprooted. Coconut trees would take at least 15 years to reach fruit bearing stage. For almost 10 days, there were no reports from 60% of the affected districts due to lack of communication. The aerial survey showed that the coastal districts of Odisha appeared to be extended Bay of Bengal. Next, move on to moisture. The water vapors present in the atmosphere called the moisture. The amount of moisture present in the air varies from place to place. Their concentration depends upon the temperature. The hot air can hold more water vapor as compared to the cold air. When the temperature increases, the capacity of air to hold water vapor increases. The condition is reversed in case of decreasing temperature. The atmosphere gets water vapors from the water bodies through the process of evaporation. The evaporation is the process that changes liquid to vapors. The actual amount of water vapors present in the air is known as the humidity. When the air holds maximum amount of water vapor, the process of condensation takes place. Condensation is the process in which water vapor starts converting into tiny water droplets. If the temperature further falls down, the water droplets converts into ice crystals. Fog, mist, dew, clouds and rainfall are the main forms of condensation. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, then they come down as a precipitation, that is rainfall. Rainfall is the most important form of precipitation. Depending upon how warm and moist air cools, rainfall can occur. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall or relief rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. Convectional rainfall: when the moist air gets heated and rises up in the atmosphere, the air further expands, cools, and condenses to form clouds to bring rainfall. Next, relief rainfall. It occurs when moisture bearing winds are forced to rise over a hill or mountain and shed its moisture in the form of rainfall. It is also called the orographic rainfall. Next is cyclonic rainfall. When warm and cold air have different densities, they don't mix. In this case, the warm air rises up due to its light weight, while the cold air remains near the surface. In this situation, a front originates, rising warm air condense or form clouds, which finally bring rainfall. This type of rainfall is known as cyclonic or frontal rainfall. Benefits of rainfall. It is very important for the survival of plants and animals. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. It provides fresh water to the earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occurs. Other forms of rainfall is snow, sleet, hail. Now I completed the chapter. Hope you all understood. Now I am going to read from the textbook. From Geography textbook, page number 23, Weather and Climate. Is it going to rain today? Will it be bright and sunny today? How many times have we heard this from anxious cricket fans speculating the fate of a one-day match? If we imagine our body to be a radio and the mind its speaker, weather is something that fiddles with its control knobs. Weather is this heart-to-heart, day-to-day condition of the atmosphere. A hot or humid weather may make one irritable. A pleasant, breezy weather may make one cheerful and even plan for an outing. Weather can change dramatically from day to day. However, the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of a place. Now, do you understand why we have daily weather forecasts? Temperature. The temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. Summers are hotter than winters. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles, therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. Now, do you understand why poles are covered with snow? If the Earth's temperature rises too high, it would become too warm for some crops to grow. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages. The concrete and metals in buildings and the asphalt of roads get heated up during the day. This heat is released during the night. Also, the crowded high rise buildings of the cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. Air pressure. You will be surprised to know that air above us pressures us with a great force on our bodies. However, we don't even feel it. This is because the air presses us from all directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. Air pressure is defined as a pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. As we go up the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. The air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place. In areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area. Low pressure is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. In areas having low temperature, the air is cold. It is therefore heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. High pressure is associated with clear and sunny skies. The air always moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Wind. The movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure areas is called wind. You can see wind at work as it blows dry leaves down the pavement of or uproots trees during a storm. Sometimes when the wind blows gently, you can even see it blowing away smoke or fine dust. At times, wind can be so strong that it is difficult to walk against it. You must have experienced it is not easy to hold an umbrella on a windy day. Think of some other examples when strong winds have created problems for you. Winds can be broadly divided into three types. First, permanent winds. The trade winds, westerlies and easterlies are the permanent winds. These blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Number two, seasonal winds. These winds change their direction in different seasons, for example, monsoons in India. 3. Local winds. These blow only during a particular period of a day or year in a small area. For example, land and sea breeze. Do you recall the hot and dry local winds of northern plains of India? It is called Lu. Cyclone Nature's Fury. Odisha, located on the eastern seacoast of India, is prone to cyclones that originate in the Bay of Bengal on 17-18 October 1999. Cyclone hit 5 districts of the state. Another super cyclone occurs on 29 October 1999 that devastated large portions of the state. The damages caused were mainly due to three factors: wind velocity, rain, and tidal surge. The winds of up to 260 km per hour lasted for over 36 hours. These high velocity winds uprooted trees and damaged the kacha houses. Rooftops of several industrial sheds and other houses were also blown away. Power supply and telecom lines snapped completely. Heavy rain occurred under the influence of the cyclone for 3 days continuously. These rains led to flooding in the major rivers of Odisha. The cyclonic winds caused tidal waves that swept 20 kilometers inland and brought massive destruction to the coastal areas. The 7 to 10-meter high tidal wave intruded suddenly and caused massive damage to the standing paddy crops. The cyclone originated as a depression in the Gulf of Thailand near east of Port Blair on 25th October 1999 and gradually moved in the northwestward direction. It intensified into the supercyclone and hit the area between Arasama and Balikuda in Odisha on 29th October at 10:30 am. The supercyclone swept the entire coast of Odisha, including the cities of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack and 28 coastal towns. About 13 million people were affected. A large number of livestock were killed. Standing crops of paddy, vegetables, and fruits were heavily damaged. Due to salinization caused by tidal surge, large tracts of agricultural land have turned infertile. Large tracts of sal, teak, and bamboo plantations have disappeared. The mangrove forest between Paradip and Konark vanished. Moisture. When water evaporates from land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. Moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. When the air is full of water vapor, we call it a humid day. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases and so it becomes more and more humid. On a humid day, clothes take longer to dry and sweat from our body does not evaporate easily, making us feel very uncomfortable. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, then they come down as precipitation. Jet planes flying in the sky leave a white trail behind them. The moisture from their engines condenses. We see trails of this condensed moisture for some time when there is no air movement to disturb it. Precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Plants help preserve water. When trees or hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down the bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying areas. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. Rainfall is very important for the survival of plants and animals. It brings fresh water to the earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occurs. On the other hand, if it is more, flood takes place. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.